Hello and welcome to another episode of the Lights Movie Podcast, the official podcast of NotYetRated.net. I'm your host and editor-in-chief of that website. My name is Colin, and with me as always is my co-host Benjamin.
Yes, my name is Ben Martinez, and I'm glad to be here, Colin.
Wow, you actually you expressed some emotion there. You're like, I'm glad to be here. We usually don't do that. We're usually just like, all right, here's the show, and we're gonna start.
No. Today is an emotional day.
Oh yeah, well I'm more excited to be here than you, Ben. Joke's on you.
That's definitely not true. I am far more excited than you are, Colin. So, Colin, how are you doing today? Aside from excited.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. First of all, obviously, and just ready for this amazing show. We got a lot of things to talk about. We're gonna talk about the new movie Deadpool. You may have heard of it. We're gonna go break that down into our highlights and lowlights. We're going to first do the news of the week. We're going to go over like all the stuff we missed, like the Super Bowl TV spots and other stuff. And so, Ben, would you like to kick us off with a highlight of yours?
I certainly will. My first highlight, and I think it's yours too, is the new Star Wars Episode VIII teaser and cast list.
Yes. This is very exciting and unexpected. So, this morning, or whenever you're listening to it, whenever it was Monday morning, they dropped a teaser, very, very short teaser for Star Wars Episode VIII. And it's just like, hey, look, here's the island that Luke's on. Here's a dramatic close-up of Luke. Here's a shot of Rey. And then it cuts to Rian Johnson. And he's just like, cut, that was beautiful. And then, Episode VIII. And
I thought it was done so well.
It is the best trailer of the year so far.
Anything
I
Star Wars
loved
does.
it. I loved it. Just when I was getting over the Star Wars hype, this comes out. And I'm like, Star Wars.
Is it too early, though? I mean, they didn't show anything really at all, but, like...
I don't think it's too early. It's like, hey, we're starting production. It's not really a trailer.
Yeah, it's not even a teaser. It's just, we're doing this now.
It's a little tease, a little teasy too, you know?
Yeah.
And I love Rian Johnson, so I'm incredibly excited to see what he does. And then the cast list that was announced with it.
Yes.
So we got all the returning people, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Adam Driver, etc. They're all returning, except for Harrison Ford. And we have newcomers, like we knew Benicio del Toro was going to be in the movie, obviously, but
Right.
Laura Dern from Jurassic Park fame is going to be in it, and newcomer Kelly Marie Tran.
Yep.
That's first of all, Laura Dern, awesome. Benicio del Toro, awesome. No idea who Kelly Marie Tran is, but I'm sure she's going to be like a new Daisy Ridley, you know? She's going to be a new It girl, if it's a girl.
Well, I
Kelly
think
could be
Daisy
a guy's
Ridley's
name.
going to be the new...
Well, you know what I mean, like a nobody that turns into a somebody.
Right,
Star
okay,
Wars.
yeah. So I think, so Benicio del Toro is definitely a villain, right?
Oh, most probably.
Most probably.
What else? Yeah, sure. Let's go with most probably. What else can Benicio del Toro do? You know, he's a perfect
Not
villain.
much. He is. He kind of looks like a villain, just in his face.
Right. But because he's doing this movie, apparently he's not going to be returning for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which kind of sucks. But
yeah, that does suck.
Still Star Wars. So.
I mean, they don't really need him for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, though. Like, he wasn't... I mean, he was important, but, like, he wasn't... You can go on with
that important.
Yeah. He was cool. I loved him in Guardians of the Galaxy, but you don't need him.
Right.
Although, actually, Han Solo is in the cast list. Harrison Ford, I mean.
Is he?
Yeah, so he could show up as, like, I guess, flashbacks and stuff, probably.
Not the one I'm looking at.
Which one are you looking at?
I'm looking at Star Wars welcomes back cast members Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Lupita Nyong'o, Domhnall Gleeson, Anthony Daniels, Gwendolyn Christie, and Andy Serkis. New cast members will include Academy Award winner Benicio del Toro, Academy Award nominee Laura Dern, and talented newcomer Kelly Marie Tran. No Harrison Ford there.
All right, well, the list I have has Harrison Ford here as Han Solo.
Well, your list is wrong.
Well, your list is wrong. I guess we'll have to wait till December to find out.
See, if you went to the one on NotYetRated.net, you would see that I'm right and you're wrong.
Well, if you want to on imdb.com. Oh, well,
The
we'll
most
see.
unreliable site because it's like Wikipedia where anyone can edit it. But hey,
Okay, well, all right, let's not go trashing IMDb. IMDb is great.
Anyway,
Right. Kelly Marie
great.
Tran, let's talk about her.
Yeah, she's probably somebody. I'm gonna Google her right now because I have no idea what she looks like.
She's got like a little bit of baby face.
Ooh, she does look like a baby.
Maybe she'll play a baby.
Ooh, maybe. Or an alien baby. Who knows?
She's seems like everything she plays like a young teen girl type thing. So she'll probably
Hipster.
she'll probably be like a young. I have no idea what she would do in this movie.
Could she be somebody's daughter? Luke's daughter? Dun,
Why
dun,
does
dun.
everyone have to be someone's daughter? God.
I know. But could Laura Dern be Ray's mom?
Oh, you know what? Totally, I could see that. That'd be
That
cool.
would be really cool, right?
Yeah.
I would be totally down for that. Benicio del Toro's her dad?
I mean, I would like that because then it wouldn't be Luke. I really don't want Luke to be
I
the
don't want it
father.
to be Luke either.
Yeah.
I think that's a
That'd be lame.
little too easy.
Oh, yeah, it's
But,
like way too obvious.
Yeah. Star Wars.
Yeah, this is incredibly exciting.
It's back.
Everyone we want back is back. Oh, and Lupita. Do you have Lupita Nyong'o coming back on your list?
Yes.
Okay, good. Me too. Because I want to see more of
Maz Kanata.
Kanata, whatever.
Yeah. Star Wars. So cool. Do you think it's
Yes.
weird that we got Episode 8 footage before we got Rogue One footage?
Not really. I think they kind of just wanted to put something out there for Episode 8. Because people.
I mean,
don't
it's
really...
fine. Whatever. You know.
I'm like,
It's still cool. But we could have gotten like that same thing for Rogue One, but they didn't do it.
I mean, but to be honest with you, Rogue One, I'm kind of like Star Wars with no Jedi. I don't know.
I mean, there can't be Jedi.
I love Jedi.
But Darth Vader's going to be in it.
Oh, that's like a Jedi.
Probably.
Okay, I mean,
He was at one point a Jedi. And technically Obi-Wan Kenobi could show up.
that would be interesting. Do you think
Played
they'd have
by Ewan McGregor?
That'd be
They would
really cool.
definitely bring Ewan McGregor back.
I would love that. I would be super into that.
I hope Ewan McGregor shows up again, like in episode 8 or 9 or whatever, as like a Force ghost. Because
Yeah.
I still think that Rey is a Kenobi, and that's why you hear Obi-Wan Kenobi say, "Rey, these are the first steps." Because like, why wouldn't it be Luke saying that? Why is it Obi-Wan? Because Obi-Wan's the father.
No, wait. Do you know if are Jedi supposed to be like chaste?
Yes. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that was an expanded universe thing. I think, like, it was never specifically. Oh no, it was a prequels thing. Like, it was never
All
really
right, 'cause
said.
in the prequels, they're basically like priests
Yeah,
or
But,
rabbi,
like-
whatever you want to.
but like in the expanded universe, Luke gets married. They all get married. So I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, I mean, like also like in Luke's universe, like there's no other Jedi's left, so there's no rules he needs to really follow aside from his own.
Yeah, but then like Rey shows up and he's like, "Oh shit, another Jedi."
Yeah, I'm so excited for this next movie. Are you more
It's
excited?
going to be great.
I know it's coming sooner. Rogue One.
I'm more excited for episode 8. If that's
Yeah,
the
okay, me
question.
too. Yeah, it is.
Because like Rogue One, I'm still not sold on these anthology movies to
No,
begin
me
with.
neither. Not at all.
Well, Rogue One seems promising. I like the premise, but like
yeah.
Han Solo and
That
Boba
one-
Fett and all these stuff, I don't care.
Well, Boba Fett would be okay. I mean,
I don't care.
It would be
Why
okay,
do we
though.
need to get Boba Fett back? Because he did nothing.
Right. That's why it's kind of okay to bring it back because like they're not rooting anything. But like bringing back Han Solo, like someone that's not Harrison
Okay,
Ford
that's
playing
fair.
Han Solo is
That's
disgusting.
fair.
So
Yeah, but Phil Lord and Chris
I don't
Miller
know.
are doing it. That's the argument. I love them.
they're doing the Han Solo
They're
one?
great. Yeah. They're
I'm
great,
sure it's gonna be
but
good
like
no
I'm
matter
still
what
not
it is.
excited.
Yeah.
Like, it'll probably be fine. I just don't care.
Right, for sure.
Anyway, we should probably move on before we talk about Star Wars this entire episode.
We can totally
Um,
do that though. All right.
we absolutely could do that.
What's your first highlight or second highlight?
Yes. So I'm gonna hop into the Super Bowl TV spots because we didn't have a chance to talk about it last week. The first one I want to talk about is Batman Superman, and they did these really creative commercials. Everyone probably saw them. It's the Turkish Airlines commercials, and they're like, "Hey, you should fly to Gotham City. It's a city reborn," or whatever. Or maybe that's some Metropolis one, whatever. And like, "Hey, you can see a local celebrity," and then they show the bat signal. And then Bruce Wayne's in, and he's like, "Hey, I donated a lot of money, and Gotham's back, and I'm Ben Affleck." It's weird that he actually said that line, that he's Ben Affleck. Very, very meta, but I really liked those a lot.
Yeah, they were great. I thought those were probably my favorite TV spots. Or are they TV spots really, or are they just a commercial for...
They're TV
whatever
spots,
they are.
I'd say.
They're my favorite movie-related thing for the Super Bowl.
Commercial.
But my only issue with them was, like, and obviously there's no way around this, that they're just back-to-back. I thought that'd be cooler if they were kind of spread out.
It would be, but like I guess they couldn't do that because money.
Yeah, it's complicated. But they were really cool. I thought the Bruce Wayne... I preferred the Gotham City one just because I think Bruce Wayne makes more sense as a person to be doing that, whereas, like, Lex Luthor's... He looks like a villain in this. He sounds like a villain. So, like, I was like, eh.
But yeah, but, like, also... Lex is trying to be like that guy who's like getting into people's hearts so he can take down Superman.
Exactly.
So it kind of makes sense, like, because Superman and Lex's relationship has always been where the people love Superman, the people love Lex. Lex hates Superman, Superman hates Lex, and so whenever Superman does something against Lex, everyone's like, "What is Superman doing?" and stuff like that.
Right.
So kind of makes sense.
Oh, it makes sense for sure.
I love that Jesse Eisenberg has like a stress ball when he's on the plane and he's just holding it. He's so arrogant. It's great. I think he's gonna be good. I'm still not 100% sold on him yet, but like I think he'll be good.
I'm confident in his ability to pull off that kind of role at this point, just off of everything we've seen, like trailers and this new TV spot.
Right.
But which did you prefer of the two?
Probably the Gotham City one, just because it doesn't have that like really terrible Superman CGI of the flyover of the cafe where it's
a lot of the
super
Superman
fake.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
It was really bad. Everyone's like, "Whoa, something just flew over," and like papers are flying and stuff like that. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Do you know if I know like in a lot of the comic books, the two cities are presented as being like across the river from each other, basically. Mm-hmm. Right? Do you know if they're gonna have that in this?
In this, they're like right next to each other, and like people from Gotham like ride like the subway or like a train to go to work in Metropolis, type thing. I think that's what they said. Like they're right next to each other.
I like that.
Basically, Gotham is like the hood. It's more for like the poor, and Metropolis is more like the upper class.
I like that a lot. That's a nice setup. Very
cool.
I
like it too. What other Super Bowl TV spots do you want to talk about, Ben?
One that I liked and you did not like, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV spot.
Oh, yes.
So, I liked that one because, like, as if you heard it on our old show, when we talked about this, like, our big complaint with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was that there was not enough turtles. And this TV spot was almost like, I would say it was like 95% turtles, 5% other stuff.
Yes.
Which was really cool. Maybe that like reflects what the actual movie's going to be, which is what it should be. And I thought, that's basically why I liked it so much, that there was more turtles, and that was great. Lots of turtle action, which is cool.
So yeah, this is a low light for me. While I do like that there's more turtles, it just looks like a total. I mean, I get it, but like it looks like a really like complete CGI fest, and like not like good CGI, but like kind of like weird CGI. Like I feel like in some ways the turtles look worse. I'm not sure. Maybe that's just because like the film's not ready or whatever.
That's what I'm thinking. But, I think the CGI was definitely worse, but a lot of that has to do with the just
the Krang bit, which was obviously like the standout of the trailer. Fine, whatever. But like I don't like Stephen Amell as Casey Jones. He's not very Casey Jonesy.
Yeah,
like I have Casey Jones as like this almost like a slime ball. Like he's kind of like he's got the greasy hair. He's not Stephen Amell, basically.
Was Stephen Amell's hair long for this? I don't.
No, he's got like a buzz cut.
Damn, that's not Casey Jones.
It's not.
But hopefully there's not gonna be a
but-
lot of Stephen Amell.
Yeah.
Ideally.
I want more Will Arnett because I want more super sexist and over the top comments from him in the movie, because like that got me through the first one. Like the first one, it's not terrible, but it's not good.
No, it's bad.
But like,
yeah.
I loved Will Arnett in that movie just because it was very Michael Bay Transformers-y humor where it was just like stupid and sexist and over the top. But like I totally got a kick out of it just because like, yeah, this is so stupid, and so want more of that.
Yeah, I just really hope they kind of redeem themselves in this one, which I think they might. Hopefully. Although
Hopefully they will.
last one made a ton of money, so why would they change their tact?
Approach, yeah,
Yeah,
I guess.
we'll see.
So a highlight for me for Super Bowl was definitely the Captain America Civil War commercial.
Oh man.
I didn't like the chant of the like "United we stand, United we fall" or whatever. Like that was stupid. But like the footage they showed was really cool. Like first of all, the Iron Man watch, like the thing, it becomes the Iron Man glove, and then he blocks a bullet with it, and the face on Tony Stark's face when he blocks like the bullet is great. It's so great because he genuinely can't believe that Bucky tried to shoot him in the face. And I really, really, really liked this trailer. Got the cool little money shot of the two teams lined up very weirdly, but like I kind of dug it. Like it's just like, hey, let's stand super symmetrical so the camera can see all of us.
Yeah.
Type standing. Like it wasn't like a normal like lineup. It was like, all right, we're gonna stack it one by one so everyone can be seen. Ant-Man looks cool. The new Ant-Man costume. What else? Things look cool. Oh,
Visually, it
Rhodey's
was incredible.
definitely not dead. Like, there's no way he's actually dead because if they showed that in the trailer and the TV spot, that'd be ridiculous. So there's no way he's gonna die in this movie. That's my prediction.
Yeah, but someone is gonna die. We know that.
Right. It's probably gonna be, I think either Steve Rogers or Tony Stark is gonna die.
Yeah. Either either way.
I think
those
it'd be
are-
cool if it was Tony Stark instead of Steve Rogers. A little reversal of the comic book where Steve Rogers dies.
But they couldn't
knows?
kill.
They could. I mean, if he wants out or whatever. But I mean, like, they probably won't. But like, I think it would be cool if they did.
I gotta say, like, these are some of the greatest characters out there right now. Tony, Cap,
Yeah.
Black Widow, even. I
Except
love them.
for, like, there's like, yeah, I like those characters a lot. But like, then there's like Scarlet Witch. Who's kind of like, she was okay in Age of Ultron. She's just kind of back. Vision, same thing. I mean, although Vision was kind of great, I I feel like it's like too soon for him to be like involved in this kind of like personal vendetta.
I think the thing for Scarlet Witch was just that, like, in Ultron, they wanted to give Quicksilver more, like, screen time and development and stuff just because, like, they were only going to have him for that one movie. That's what I feel, at least.
Mhm.
So we're probably going to see more of her, like, in this and then coming up. But I guess it makes sense that we didn't get a lot of her before. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. But what else do you have for Super Bowl stuff?
Okay. Another highlight I had was the Cloverfield Lane.
Oh yes, 10
spot.
Cloverfield Lane.
Yes, indeed.
Oh my goodness. So we finally got a shot of the outside because we didn't really get any. So we see the accident because that was in the plot synopsis. And so we now know that, hey, Mary Elizabeth Winstead gets an accident. Then John Goodman saves her, potentially not saving her, who knows. And she does get out, or maybe that's the beginning, who knows. But she's outside at one point, and then we see that weird light, and obviously Clover, the monster, doesn't produce a light, but like maybe it's like the government shining the light on the monster, and that's what's creating that light. And then you do kind of hear that roar.
Right.
So I think I think this TV spot definitely confirms that it is the Cloverfield monster, because a lot of people are like, oh no, it's just John Goodman kidnapping people. It's not actually a Cloverfield movie. It's like they wouldn't call it Cloverfield if there was no monster. It doesn't have to be the same monster, but there has to be a monster.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely like aliens.
Right, because like I could see Cloverfield, the name Cloverfield, being like a Black Mirror type thing where it's like one-off anthology monster movies. Like it doesn't have to be the same monster. It could just be like, hey, here's a throwaway monster story. Here's another monster story with the name Cloverfield.
Which that would be really cool.
Right, but like also if it's a sequel to Cloverfield, that would almost be cooler. So I'm fine with either or, really.
Oh yeah, either way.
I love Cloverfield.
I still haven't seen Cloverfield.
You haven't seen
have
it? Really?
No, I haven't. I mean,
The first one?
No, that's the only one.
Well,
I think I might have seen it like
true.
like years ago, but probably like late night or something. I gotta watch that.
It's really good, and you should watch it because it's fantastic.
And also, J.J. Abrams is like incredible at everything that he puts his name on. What?
Yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything that JJ put his name on that I didn't like. And
I'm sure
I
there's
can't think of
something.
anything.
I'm sure there's something, but like he seems.
I mean, he did the Mission Impossible movies, which are really good. He did
did
Star Trek.
Lost.
He did Star Wars.
Lost.
I haven't seen
Super
Lost, but I hear it's okay.
8. It was really good at first, but then it got bad. But it was really good at first.
Right.
Super 8.
Super 8, yep.
Revolution was okay sometimes.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
J.J.
he does.
Abrams, you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A highlight for me was the Jason Bourne Super Bowl TV spot. It doesn't show a lot, to be fair, but like, it's Matt Damon and he's back, and he one-shot punches that guy, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
I also liked the when they're in the CIA or wherever, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's Jason Bourne!" You hear the Bourne song or whatever. They always play it at the end credits, the ding ding song, whatever.
Right.
I thought it was a cool little thing. Tommy Lee Jones is in it. Got a lot of returning people, whatever her name is, from the originals. Looks good. I'm excited. And also, the title is a little lazy, just calling it Jason Bourne, but you know what? I don't care. I'm still really excited. And also, we don't know anything about the plot, so that's cool.
That is nice, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Jason Bourne guy yet, I guess, so. But as this TV spot on its own, I liked it.
Yeah, it's good.
The one-shot
What else do you have?
That was...
Yeah, the one-shot punch was awesome.
I think, okay, that's all I have for highlights.
Okay.
But now, for lowlights... Well, okay, this one's kind of hovering in between highlights and lowlights for me, just because like, it has some stuff I really like, but by and large, it didn't leave much of an impact, was the X-Men Apocalypse trailer, the TV spot.
This is a lowlight for me, just because I'm sick and tired of the stupid, hey, it's the end of the world, and it came off very Terminator Genesis to me, which is not a good thing.
No, definitely not.
With the missiles and everything, but Apocalypse, he looks good, but like I feel like they didn't show enough new footage to get me excited, and also, I'm sick and tired of the stupid like black uniforms. Like, step up, Bryan Singer. Like, color. Like, we said this last episode, but like you're in the 80s, you're allowed to use color.
Yeah.
Like, I get it for the modern day, but like, come on.
Right. I think for me, I think there are just some visuals in it like that I really liked. Like, I loved the rockets or the missiles, whatever that was, shooting up at the very beginning. I liked that a lot.
The Psylocke cutting the car thing was kind of cool.
That was very cool. I think those are the two real reasons that I liked it. But there was like a lot of like old stuff that we'd seen before that we've kind of seen enough of at this point. I get that.
I'm also sick of Jennifer Lawrence running the show. Like, she shouldn't be a hero. She's Mystique, a side character who, in the original movies, literally didn't do anything except for, like, be the right-hand woman for Magneto. And that's what she should be in these prequels movies to those movies. But no, because it's Jennifer Lawrence, we need to put her center and make her the star, and she has to be a hero because of her image, and ugh. That's what I say.
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I get
Uh,
that.
yeah. I have another highlight. I think you
Let's hear
might
it.
have this as a low light. It's Jungle Book.
Yes, that's my last little light for me.
I liked it. We finally got to hear the voices. I think Bill Murray is awesome casting. Um, it looks kind of fun. Like the first trailer was kind of like dark and gritty, which is weird because it's like a PG movie and it's supposed to be like a really good adaptation of the original. And so I'm glad they showed a little bit more of its humor, I guess. Not really humor, but like lightheartedness.
Yeah, for sure. Um, okay, so for me with this trailer, I thought like you said, the voice was really cool. Visually, there was some really cool stuff going, like great animal CGI stuff. I love that. Um, and it looks beautiful, like just surroundings. But then, like my big issue with it was just the letterboxes thing, where they have all the animals like coming out of the letterboxes. I just thought that was kind of weird. Like then just kind of admitting that you don't need letterboxes at that point,
I don't
which
know. It's
is
kind of cool. It's kind of like, hey, it's 3D and you don't need glasses. I
yeah. I
don't know.
guess I
I don't
and
know.
I get that, but like
I see your point though. It was a very interesting little decision they made.
I think another part of it is that like for me also is kind of just distracting. Cause like
Okay.
I spent the entire trailer focusing on that, and then, like it took me like a second or third rewatch to actually be like, paying attention to all the other stuff that's going on, which was pretty cool stuff. I just did not like that one bit, that one little thing with the letterbox. But aside from that, it looks like a good movie. I'm still excited for it. Just wasn't a huge fan of this particular uh, bit TV spot.
That's fair. And then for lowlights, I have Independence Day Resurgence. I don't know where you
Oh,
have it.
I forgot to put that one down. But that's a highlight for me.
Okay, so the main reason I put it on lowlights is that like it was so hard to understand what was going on because it was like so full of CGI that like I was like, what am I looking at right now? Like I couldn't physically get what I was looking at until I paused it and it was like, oh, I see now, and then let it keep playing.
Right.
Like
Um,
I'm still really excited for this movie, but like it just like it was so hard to see what was going on. I liked the beginning though with the hey, it's the Super Bowl, so we're gonna have the football stadium, and then
yeah.
alien jets, they got
I think
us.
it sounds like your stance on this one's a lot like mine on Jungle Book.
Yeah,
Um, I actually like this one a lot. Like, yeah, it's very CGI heavy, but like you said, I love that bit with the Super Bowl thing, and then the Jets come in. And I thought the background of the singing "America the Beautiful" or whatever it is, I thought that was really nice. That was like a
right,
cool, like kind of, because like what makes like the trailer for me is the speech, and this is kind of like a good like replacement almost for the speech in this.
right. It's all about the
Um,
patriotism.
right, exactly. And then like visually, I know it's really CGI heavy, but I actually like. I think they did like it looks really pretty when you like pause and just look at it, like you said. But yeah, so I like it. I'm incredibly excited for this movie. Super into it. That's me.
Hmm. Okay, so that's it for our Super Bowl TV spots, highlights and lowlights. Now on to other highlights and lowlights of the week.
Yeah.
Ben, would you like to kick it off?
Uh,
Highlight or low light, you choose.
wait. We already did news, Colin.
Well, we have
Oh, we have a few more news to do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah, you
Okay.
idiot.
Sorry. So, the next thing I'm gonna go for, as a highlight, is the Purge trailer. The new The Purge trailer.
Oh yes, the Purge
Um,
election year. This is a
I've
highlight for me
definitely
as well.
right. I've definitely said this before, like on the old show, Real Cinema. Um, uh, like Purge is it's kind of a clever storyline, sort of like idea for plot, but like I think it's kind of dumb at points. Although like for what it is, I think this trailer is really cool. It looks really scary. It looks intense. It looks exciting. It looks very different than the other ones almost. So yeah, I thought it was a really solid trailer. Got me kind of into this movie actually, even though I'm not a The Purge fan.
Right. The first one is not good. The second one is better, but still not really good. But but like I'm glad they brought Frank Grillo back from the second one, and it's really interesting that they went the 15 years in the future route, and I kind of dig it, and how like he's protecting the Senator, who's trying to get rid of the Purge and everything. I think that's a really cool little twist to the Purge, like to show, hey, we're actually having people saying like, hey, maybe this isn't like the best idea and stuff like that, and it's actually an election year, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a cool touch.
Yeah, and it still looks it still has that scary, haunting flair that all the other ones have, and so I'm actually pretty excited for this one. I like it.
Yeah, I like the 15 years of the future thing too. Like that sort of like makes sense that it would develop this sort of religious like thing around it. The fact that it's so far in the future, that totally makes sense to me. I like that too. But what was the little like thing they had, like make America something again?
Great again.
It was just great again.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, they
like
say that in all the elections and stuff.
Well, Trump says that. It's his thing. So that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
It was cool. It's topical.
Yes. Ben, did
Yes.
you hear that Charlize Theron is in talks for the villain in Fast and Furious 8?
You know, I actually did not.
It's pretty cool.
Definitely. Is this
Fast and Furiosa. Ha 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 ha.
Wait, is this the first female villain that we'll have in this series?
I mean, we had Gina Carano in Fast and Furious 6, but like she was more of like she was Owen Shaw's like sidekick, who was like a double agent.
Oh,
She was working with The Rock. Yeah. But like we didn't really have like a real female villain yet.
Right.
So that would be really cool if they did that.
I would love to see. I know this wouldn't happen, but like, I know that like when Charlize Theron fights Dwayne Johnson, it's gonna be like a cool kung fu lady versus big burly Dwayne Johnson. But I'd really like to see big burly Charlize Theron versus big burly Dwayne Johnson. I think that'd be really cool to see, but they're not gonna do that, which is a little bit disappointing in my mind because I like seeing two really like disgustingly huge people destroy each other. But, you know.
Yeah. But still, it's awesome.
It's very cool.
First of all, female villain and Charlize Theron, because she's great.
She's so cool.
What else do you have, Benjamin?
Okay, so as a low light, actually, I have the new all the new Transformers announcements, especially the Bumblebee spin-off movie.
Well, I have the new Transformers movies. Like, I didn't really write it down, but it is a highlight for me. But like,
because you're you.
I love the Transformers movies. I mean, they're either actually good or they're just like so bad that they're good. But the Bumblebee movie is my low light because I don't want a Bumblebee spin-off movie. I want just keep going Transformers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't care. Just keep going with those. We don't need a spin-off of the one that can't talk. Like,
I kind of think I kind of like his talking thing with like the radio.
Well, I mean, they
cool.
fixed it, I think, in the fourth one, so he can talk. Like, he can talk in the fourth one.
Oh,
but like he doesn't talk a lot. But like, why would you want a movie that's just about one Transformer? Like, where's that gonna go? Like, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna fight humans? Is he gonna fight other Transformers? And if he's gonna fight other Transformers, why wouldn't you just call it another Transformers movie? Makes no sense. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't really like Transformers at all, so I don't see why we keep. I mean, I know why we keep making them money, but still,
Transformers are awesome. And
you know, all right, maybe there's something I'm missing in these things that
they're art, Ben. They're art. I'm staring at my copy of Transformers: Dark of the Moon on DVD right now as we speak, and you think I'm joking, but I'm not.
No, I believe you.
Artistic, great film.
I gotta go back and rewatch.
There's many deep themes.
All right, come on.
Yeah, so that was definitely a low light for me because of the Bumblebee stupid thing. My last highlight is that Johnny Depp is going to play the Invisible Man for the Universal Monsters Cinematic Universe. So, not only do we have Tom Cruise in this monster universe, we have Johnny Depp. So, they're taking this pretty seriously, this Universal Monsters thing. I'm kind of excited.
I mean,
I don't know.
yeah, it's
I don't really
Johnny
care
Depp.
about the Invisible Man though, but like I'm excited to see Johnny Depp and Tom Cruise eventually cross over in this weird universe.
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, Johnny Depp, Tom Cruise, great, like really cool. But I just have that whole. I do have a little bit of franchise fatigue with the whole cinematic universes. I'm a bit tired of those.
That's fair.
So like, yeah, I think that standalone monster movies would be better than putting them in a cinematic universe. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, like you said, Tom Cruise, Johnny Depp, very cool. So I guess I mean like, it's pretty exciting. I just don't really want to see these monster movies at all. But you know,
Yeah, that's fair.
this adds to it.
That's it for my highlights. So Ben, do you have any other highlights?
For highlights, no, I do not.
So let's finish off these lowlights pretty quickly, and then we'll head over to our Deadpool discussion.
Let's do it.
So my lowlight would be the new Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice trailer. And I know what you're thinking, people. What? But like,
But
don't get me wrong. This trailer is fantastic. It is a lowlight for me because I didn't want to watch it, but it played in front of Deadpool for me, and so I knew I was gonna have to watch it anyway. So I did watch it, and I would recommend not watching it because the first 40 seconds or whatever is just this great action sequence with Batman just destroying every bad person ever, and it's awesome. And Alfred's all snarky, and it's great. I feel like I've seen too much.
How many times have you seen Deadpool?
I saw it for a second time this weekend.
Is that when this played?
Yeah, it played in the IMAX screening that I went to.
Okay, cause yeah, I don't remember this playing in front of.
Yeah, because we went Thursday night. Yeah.
Right.
But it's a good trailer. I wish that this trailer replaced the other trailer with Doomsday. But this trailer, I feel like it shows a lot of new footage of them actually fighting, and I didn't want to see that, but it ends really cool. Like, it's a great trailer, but like I just wish I didn't see it. And the ending has Batman actually like blocking a punch from Superman, and Superman looks down and he's like, "What?" And it's really great. But Ben, you haven't seen it, and I would recommend you don't.
Actually, I'm kind of watching it right now.
Ben, no.
I'm sorry. I like it a lot, though. Gonna be honest with you. I know that, like, yes, it's like right before the movie actually comes out. We've already gotten a bunch of trailers, but you gotta admit, it's a really cool trailer.
It's a amazing trailer, and I'm really excited for this movie. But I really just wish I didn't see it.
No, yeah, I get that completely. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, this is kind of gray area just because, like, we didn't need a new trailer, but the trailer that they did give us is really cool. And it didn't, like, make me... It didn't... Like, I'm still going to see it. I'm not going to see it any more than I was going to see it before.
Right.
But I do like that trailer a lot. So, you know.
Right. Yeah, it's great, but shut up. I hate it. I love it. I hate it. What else for lowlights, Ben?
You hate that it exists. For lowlights?
Yes.
I think that's all for me for lowlights.
Okay, because I have two more things.
Yes,
so I'm just going to run through them really quickly.
Oh, wait, yeah. One of these is actually... Okay.
Yeah. So they just announced that they're going to do a Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and that it's going to be everyone's favorite, and it's going to be live action with CGI. So it's going to be like the Smurfs or Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
So it's like Sonic in the real world. Why?
Oh, God.
Why would they ever do that? Like, make a Sonic movie animated because that world is really cool. Don't do this live action CGI crap that only leads to bad movies, except for Paddington, which was actually great.
Yeah, no, this is definitely not good news.
I love Sonic. I used to watch the show, and I really liked the whole mythos and universe of Sonic.
Oh
But
yeah, no, me too. The
I want
comics
to
are
see
great,
him. Yeah, comics are actually really good. I read them for a while.
but this just sounds silly,
Just
insanely silly.
cut it out. Just stop it. Because it's
Don't
gonna
do
be
it.
like
Yeah.
Sonic's running around New York, and he's got to get the rings, and then like, oh, he's in the real world, and the police they arrest him because he's a 2 foot tall blue hedgehog.
Okay, seeing any human like put their hands on Sonic would just look absolutely ridiculous. There's no way you can make Sonic look like he fits in the real world. I just can't imagine
Well,
them doing
it's
that.
yeah, it's gonna be like the cartoon version of Sonic, but they're just gonna
Exactly.
place him in the real world, and that just doesn't
And
make
that's
any
gonna
sense.
it's gonna look ridiculous.
I mean, it makes more sense than actually getting like a blue hedgehog, I guess. But hey.
I tweeted that. Did you see that tweet?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you for seeing it.
Go to Giant Sheeps on Twitter to see that picture. Congrats, Ben, for tweeting.
It's a hedgehog spray painted blue or something.
But
I don't know.
anyway, yes, that's definitely a low light. And my last low light would be Zoolander 2, which I saw back to back with Deadpool. When I saw Deadpool the second time. And Zoolander 2, it's certainly a movie. It's entertaining enough where I feel like I got I got a kick out of it. It's like, hey, it's fine. But like most of it was kind of unfunny, other than like some really great cameos. My favorite being Kiefer Sutherland, where he's really really great in it, and I just feel like the actual plot itself was kind of nothing, and that was kind of disappointing because I kind of really liked the trailers and was kind of excited for this movie. I don't love the first Zoolander, I like it, and this one I just thought was just not very good, but like I wouldn't say it was like, oh, it was so bad, whatever. I'd be like, it's not good, but it's not the worst. I gave it a solid 2.5 out of 5 stars. So it's definitely a low light for me, but at least they tried. At least they tried. Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I love the first one, so I'm gonna see it at some point. Although it sounds like I'm gonna be disappointed, but you know.
I would definitely
things
recommend
happen.
watching it if you like the first one, just because like you'll get enough that kick out of seeing them on screen again. But
Right.
like it's just I don't know, it's a bit of the same thing.
All right, okay.
Although
Look
Will
at
Ferrell
that.
is great in it. Will Ferrell is actually really funny in it.
Is it more Will Ferrell than the first one?
What do you mean?
Like, is there like more? Is he there more like? Screen
Oh
time?
no, he's there less because like for the first half of the movie he's not even in it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But-
Interesting.
There's a cool twist at the end, a little cool twisty twist, that brings it back to the first one. It's kind of cool. Also, there's these opening credits that like bring you up to speed about where Derek Zoolander and Hansel have been for the past 15 years, and that was pretty cool. Some really cool cameos, but yeah, overall just no bueno.
No bueno. All right.
Let's move on to our Deadpool discussion. We will be breaking down the highlights and lowlights of the film and just talking about everything basically in the film. We're not going to go into spoilers quite yet, although there's not really anything to spoil. But we'll tell you if we go into spoilers. So if you haven't seen Deadpool, watch it or whatever. But for now, you can keep listening. So, Ben, I'll kick it off as we go into our highlights and lowlights. Just
All right.
overall, do you think the movie was a highlight or a low light? Just overall.
I think overall it's definitely a highlight.
I agree.
What about
I would say it was a highlight. The only thing is that I feel like it was a little overhyped, but I'll get into that later. Let's break it down. So the R rating is definitely a highlight for me because they utilized it. Apparently they had to cut out some stuff so it wouldn't get an NC-17, which is really cool. I liked the violence of it, like the R-rated blood smashing, all that, really great. The language, fine, sure, and so they get away with the dirtier jokes or whatever. So I got a kick out of the R rating, and I'm glad. that it was R-rated because the character would be very, very, very cringeworthy if it was PG-13. Just watch the Green Band trailer and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. For me, the R rating was a highlight for the most part, especially in terms of violence. I think they did violence so well with like the blood and like swords. That was great. Because like if you're gonna do swords in superhero, actually, if you're gonna do swords at all, I think you really want to do R rating because like in real life, swords make a lot of blood, and just having swords with no blood is kind of lame.
Yeah.
Swords, knives, all that sort of thing. I thought the language was good. Like they used it well, like the cussing, all of that. But I think the R rating kind of led to some lame jokes. Like a lot of jokes just like, haha, we can make a sex joke. Let's make a sex joke. And I feel like sex jokes, they're funny when you do them right. But if you do too many of them, then it just kind of gets like, okay, great.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. For me, the comedy was a low light because
Right.
the jokes, when they were good, they were really good. But I would say that maybe only like 35% of the jokes were good, and that's not a good percentage for a comedy. Or like, this is supposed to be a comedy, so yes. I thought a lot of the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool jokes were just like, oh, he told a joke, should we laugh? Oh, too late, didn't laugh, kind of jokes.
I kind of get that.
But like T.J. Miller, who I find hysterical, was great. He was funny, and a lot of the other characters were funny, and just some of the situations were funny. But I felt like the actual jokes coming out of Deadpool's mouth weren't that funny, but there were some very clever moments in the movie. But overall, low light.
I thought I thought like as far as humor goes, were they definitely like okay? I thought a lot of the jokes that Deadpool gave were kind of lame, but which were most of the jokes in the movie. But a lot of like the visual gags were fantastic. Like Deadpool breaking his arms and stuff over and over again, trying to punch Colossus.
Great.
And, like his
that
little
was
baby
fantastic.
hand. And
That was
his
very
baby hand.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail, you know?
Yeah, for sure. With the knights who say knee or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, the knight whatever, the one that loses all its limbs.
What are you gonna do? Bleed on me?
Right. And then
love
the bit with him getting having the baby hand.
Yes, when he has to regrow his hand, that was also really good. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
And I thought Colossus. I'll get into that later, but I thought more later. But I thought the two X-Men that were in the movie, I thought that they kind of worked really well with him. They had a good dynamic that lends itself to humor very nicely. It's like a classic straight man, goofy guy setup, which worked out really well, I thought.
Right. Yeah. The X-Men tie-ins in general were definitely a highlight for me.
Same.
So Colossus was a different actor, whatever. Totally worked out well because he looked great in my opinion, and I thought that his character worked and played off Deadpool very well. And Negasonic Teenage Warhead was also really funny and really worked. And I liked how she was actually in an X-Men costume, yellow, and spandex, which is what they should be, but whatever. And I thought that they were really good. And the costumes in general were a highlight for me. Like the Deadpool costume was very comic book accurate. Then the X-Men looked fantastic. And I guess the villain was in a costume. I don't know. He was fine. That one guy was in a suit. That's a costume, technically. Technically, all their apparel are costumes, but hey.
Although, speaking of costumes, they made like a kind of funny joke about costumes at one point, where one of the villain...
The laundry, right?
No, I mean, not the laundry. That was fine, but I feel like blood clothes jokes are kind of That happen a lot. But when one of the villain's boobs comes out of the costume, which is kind of funny because it's true that female superheroes and villains tend to really overdo it with the cleavage thing in movies and comics and stuff. So I was like, it's true.
I liked Colossus' reaction to that too. He's like, oh, you are a very beautiful woman.
that was one of the better jokes in the movie for sure.
Yeah. I thought we talked about the action, and it really was great with the R rating. And I was very skeptical going in on director Tim Miller because I was like, he's never directed a movie before. I think he's like a stunt coordinator, but he's been on this movie for years, and so I was just worried that this was going to be like the Ryan Reynolds show, and Ryan Reynolds is really kind of like directing the movie because he's producing and he basically got this project off the ground, whatever. But I was actually really impressed with what Tim Miller did. There were some really creative shots, some slow-mo. The first action scene on the highway was really well shot, I thought, and I think he actually did a really good job.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job, I thought. Nice, really nice shots too, like just throughout the movie, even in like the non-action scenes. And then, like, of course, like you can, like, him being a stunt coordinator, you could definitely see that throughout the movie with just incredible action. That's probably like the biggest highlight for me of the movie was the action. That was done really, really well.
Yes, I agree, because I'm also a really big fan of R-rated action movies and blood
there's lots
and violence.
of daytime action.
I love daytime action, and this
of it.
movie has basically only daytime action, which is awesome. And so I really liked the action, and for me, action comedies usually work. Like, if you look at like a Kingsman, where that movie is definitely an action movie, but it's also kind of comedy. And I feel like what you should do is you should do the action first and then do the comedy. And I feel like what happened with this movie is that they did the comedy and then wrote the action around it. And while the action is still good, it makes the comedy worse. Like, you need to have the action first and then create the comedy around it, not the other way around, in my opinion.
Yeah. Just in general, a lot of the jokes seemed really forced and like not natural. Like,
Right.
That's kind of what the Marvel movies do really well. They work in comedy really nicely for the most part.
They do.
I feel like this one didn't really have that as much. A lot of the time, the comedy just seemed forced in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Which, you know.
But I thought Ryan Reynolds, he was pretty good. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's the character he was born to play. I guess. I mean, he was really good. He's charismatic. He owned the part, sure. I don't think he was like the end all be all of performances, but hey,
yeah,
good for him.
Like, there's a lot of characters where like you can't see anyone else doing that. I don't think this is one of those characters for Ryan Reynolds. You know, I thought he was great, but I don't think he was like, this isn't like that's Deadpool. You know, that's like the only Deadpool there can ever be. He wasn't like Han Solo, Harrison Ford, anything like that. But he was good. I liked him.
Like, I think that like, when you look at the character Deadpool, you're like, oh yeah, that's Deadpool and not Ryan Reynolds, which is the point, I guess. But like, sure. I don't like what people are saying. It's like, oh, he's like, totally, you couldn't cast anyone else. I'm sure you could cast other people and they'd make good Deadpools. But like, the fact that when you looked at that character, you're like, this is Deadpool because he kept the mask on and stuff like that. Like Ryan Reynolds wasn't like, oh, I need to take the mask off because I'm Ryan Reynolds and I need to show my face. So I think that was cool. But like, you always knew it was Ryan Reynolds. But you know what I mean.
Oh no, I get that exactly. Like, yeah, you got a lot of like, you didn't really think. I'll give him that. Like, you didn't like see it and watch it and be like, oh, it's Ryan Reynolds doing this, it's Ryan Reynolds doing that. No, it's Deadpool doing this, Deadpool doing that, which is cool. You don't get that a lot nowadays in movies, but
right,
definitely do with this one.
What did you think of the non-linear storytelling?
Oh, I love that. It's always great.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was definitely a highlight for me. It was kind of refreshing in a way. Like, it's not just like, all right, here's the beginning, here's the middle, here's the end. But the problem with the non-linear storytelling is that when you really look at the film, there's, like, other than his origin, there's 2 action scenes. Like, the highway scene is literally, like, over half the movie.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the way they edited it, it's clever and it doesn't seem like it. But I thought it was refreshing. It's not just like, all right, here's this guy, and then, oh no, he's Deadpool now. Like, the movie starts and he's Deadpool, which I thought was very cool.
Although, like, what you said about the whole thing with it being, like, just on the highway, that sort of reminds me of, like, one thing I really liked about this movie that, like, I couldn't really put into words until right now, I guess. I loved that this movie was, like, a small-scale superhero movie, like Ant-Man was. Even smaller than Ant-Man, really. I'm like...
Well, not as small as Ant-Man. Ant-Man is the size of an ant.
All right, Colin. But yeah, I love that this was, like, small-scale. Like, we're getting that now, and that's really nice to have, especially with superhero movies. We don't get that very often at all, and that's what this had, and it was great.
I definitely agree. I'm kind of sick and tired of the oh the world is gonna be destroyed. We gotta save the day. Like I'm fine with like Batman versus Superman kind of looks like it's doing that, but I'm fine because we haven't really like gotten a lot from DC yet. I'm tired of Marvel doing it because Marvel has the same universe and there's no way they could have this keep happening in this universe. Like we know Infinity War is happening and that is going to happen in Infinity War, but we need these smaller stories like Winter Soldier was great because it was like it was smaller scale, but it was still like we got to save the day, end of the world, but it's not like everyone's dying into the world. It's like, oh yeah, we just aborted this thing that could have ended the world, but like I'm a hero and I saved the day. Um, so yes, small scale doesn't always equal better, but I think it's refreshing. Definitely,
it's
just
nice,
like
it's
Ant-Man.
nice to have. Right.
Um, Another highlight for me was definitely the love story. While it was very dirty at sometimes, you kind of buy into it, like why they have feelings for each other, and I thought that is testament to Ryan Reynolds and Morena Baccarin's chemistry. Like I thought, yeah, it works. Like it was never just like, oh, why does there have to be a romance in this movie? It's like, oh, it just makes sense.
Yeah, without a doubt, it was really nice. It was one of the better love stories in superhero movies, without a doubt.
Right. It's like in Thor, it's like, oh, of course it's Jane Foster, so he needs to have love interest. It's like with this, it's just like, oh, it just makes sense. It works.
Yeah,
Like
it was like it like drove the whole movie, which was nice.
I like how it's, and also it wasn't just like we get to the end of the movie and then they hook up. It's like the very first scene with them is like them like, hey, let's hook up, and then go from there. Like it's I liked that.
Right.
Let's talk about the fourth wall breaking because this is a highlight for me, but I believe it's a low light for you.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So I really liked it. I thought he would do it more, but I still liked that it didn't go over the top with it because it's such a unique thing and it could get annoying. But I liked the how they used it and how they didn't have that one scene that I was dreading where he's talking to the camera and then a character goes like, "Hey, who are you talking to?" or whatever. Like I didn't want that, and they didn't really have that, which I was really happy about. And it was very subtly used, and I liked that. I thought it was really funny when he was like, "Whose balls did I had to fondle to get my own movie?" Hint: it rhymes with Pulverine. Like I thought that was really great. He's talking to the camera, or when he turns the camera away when he has to beat up a guy, stuff like that. The fourth wall break inside the fourth wall break, where he says it's like 16 walls. That's really good and clever. So like the comedy that came out of the fourth wall breaks, I really enjoyed. But what about you?
So yeah, there were definitely some things about it that I liked. I loved the little thing where he moved the camera away when he had to beat that guy up particularly harshly. There were some good jokes. I wasn't a big fan of the 16 wall jokes. I was like, eh. But just like, I know it's Deadpool, so you have to break the fourth wall. That's like sort of his thing. So I'm glad they did it rather than they didn't do it, because, if they didn't do it, it wouldn't be Deadpool. But it just as a general rule, I like to keep the fourth wall intact in movies and plays and TV shows. But that's just me personally. I think it makes you a little bit uncomfortable. It's like, all right, okay, fourth wall, yeah, we get it. Your movie, very funny, but. Yeah, I don't know. So it was good that they did it because it's Deadpool, but just in general, I'm not a big fan personally of breaking the fourth wall.
I definitely don't disagree with you about like the use of the fourth wall break and how it could be like distracting, like you're in a movie, whatever. But like for me, I thought it was used sparingly enough where I thought they used it cleverly and it was still true to the character, but they didn't go over the top.
That's
And
true.
so
I'm
I
definitely
liked
glad
it.
they didn't. I'm definitely glad they didn't do more of it. That's true.
And then the last highlight that I have written down, like a general highlight, is the music because the music is pretty bumping.
Yeah, it's very Deadpool.
Good.
Rap
It's a good
music.
score and it has good like actual like tracks.
Yeah.
The score is actually really good.
The score didn't really stand out to me too much.
If
Personally.
you listen to it like separately, like on Spotify or whatever, it definitely like pops a little more. And then it also helped in the second viewing. Like I was like, oh, here's this cool little score. I really like that composer, Tom Holkenberg or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like I know if a movie has a good score, if like I watched it and like that was a really good score upon leaving it, like I don't think about it too much. But although this like the soundtrack, the songs individually, those were really good choices for the character, I thought.
Right. Of course, like X Gonna Give It To You has been in every single trailer, commercial, everything. So of course it was in the movie, and I liked how they used it when like there's this epic X-Men team up with Deadpool because X ha.
Right.
But like all these songs that have been in trailers and stuff like Schmoop and or not Schmoop, whatever, and the Just Call Me Angel song that was in the test footage that leaked, and so it was kind of cool that they was actually in the final movie. And so yeah, I got a kick out of that. Oh, one last thing for highlights that we didn't talk about, the opening credits.
Yes,
So
those were good.
so good. Starring God's Perfect Idiot or whatever, directed by a useless tool or something. Just so good, very creative. I really liked those.
Yeah, that's really nice. And visually, it was really cool too. Like just like the camera panning around this situation.
Right, it's like the end credits of the Avengers. You know how it has like that close up spin around of all these close items. It's like, oh, and then it pans down and you're like, oh, it makes sense.
Yeah, it was cool. So those are all of our highlights, I believe.
We'll go
Right.
back and like kind of add stuff as we go. But
Oh,
that's
actually,
all what I have written down.
there's one more that I have actually. That's a little light for you. Um, well, it's kind of a spoiler. Well, actually,
Do you want to just go into spoilers? Like, everyone's seen it, so we can just say, hey, spoilers.
yeah. I mean, there's no really big spoilers things to spoil, but
We'll just
I was
say,
gonna say
hey, from now on, spoilers for Deadpool. But I mean, you've probably seen it. So,
Right.
whatever. Okay, Ben, just continue.
all right, this is kind of a spoiler, I guess, because it happens at the end of the movie, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the plot. There's the helicarrier at the end, sort of thing, kind of.
Yeah, that's a low light for me, just because, like, it's so, like, out of context. It's just like, they just show up and, like, they're at this helicarrier. It's like, what? What? Like,
Yeah, you see, for me, like, I liked it was a helicarrier. That's a cool little like tie into the MCU. I thought would be nice. It was kind of nice. But then another reason I liked it was not that the fact that it's a helicarrier, but just the fact that entire scene played out as sort of like a King of the Hill type situation, which I think was really cool. Like you got like the main bad guy at the very top, then at the bottom are like the real battles going on. You have to work your way up there. I thought that was a really cool little
scene.
Yeah, scene like staging idea.
I liked
like
the scene. But like I just thought it was distracting. Like, wait, is that a helicarrier? Because like even on my second viewing, I saw the propellers, and you're like, this is definitely a helicarrier, but they couldn't say it's a helicarrier. But like, it's just weird. Like, why was he there? They never really explained that. I don't know.
Right.
I just thought like I liked the scene, but maybe you could have had it at a like you could have it on the helicarrier. Just explain why Ajax the villain is there, or hey, it's a helicarrier. Explain why it's a helicarrier, type thing. Like I just thought it was like kind of just thrown at you, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I kind of felt natural. It didn't really distract me too much. But I get how you can make that complaint. Makes sense.
So my main lowlights with the movie, because I have a few, more than a few, but the trailer spoiled basically every set piece, every action scene, not every joke, but like the main ones, and like you just knew every single scene that was gonna happen. You're sitting in the theater, and then you're just like, oh, this scene's gonna happen. Oh, this scene's gonna happen. Oh, he's gonna tell the Green Lantern joke. Oh, it's like they usually in movies they have like different jokes or different takes of those jokes in the trailers. In this one, it's just the same one. Like I thought, like there's that one scene where he puts the two guns up to his nose and sniffs them. He's like, "Oh, I'm touching myself tonight." I thought they could have done a different joke there or whatever, just because like that was like in all the trailers and stuff. Like jokes like those. And I really didn't want that Green Lantern reference in the movie because I hate that line. Like, don't make the super suit green or animated. Really don't like that line. I get it, it's very tongue-in-cheek. Ha 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 ha. I also didn't like the line where he's like, do you think Ryan Reynolds got this far by his superior acting skills? Like, it was just a little too on the nose for me. And I thought that, going back to my main point, the trailer kind of spoiled the jokes, and they could have done a better job at, like, editing around it.
Yeah, I think that's a problem. Like with most like kind of weaker comedies, which this was in terms of being as like from a comedy standpoint. Most weaker comedies will showcase their very best jokes in the trailer, which I think is a problem because then like you go in thinking it's gonna be full of good jokes, like the ones in the trailer, even though the ones in this trailer weren't necessarily that great. And then you don't get that. So yeah, I definitely see that being a low light. The trailer giving away too much.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. And then my real main gripe with the movie isn't really about the movie itself, but like, people are praising this movie as like, oh, it's a game changer and it's so refreshing. I mean, the non-linear storytelling of it is refreshing, but like the actual storyline itself is the exact same storyline as every other superhero movie ever. But everyone's saying, but oh, it's Deadpool, and because he says, like, to the audience, hey, look, it's a cliche superhero movie, that makes it okay, and that does not make it okay. I thought, like the story, it could have been so much better. The villain is terrible. I don't care what anyone says. He's no better than, like, the Thor 2 villain, in my opinion. Maybe a little better, but he just does nothing. It's the same plot as every other superhero movie, and everyone's like saying it's like, oh, it's so refreshing and it's R-rated and stuff like that. But like, we've had R-rated comic book movies before, and they've done well. Like 300, Sin City, Kick-Ass. Well, the Kick-Ass didn't do well, but I mean, it was great.
Kick-Ass 1 did well, right?
It did not do well.
Oh.
It didn't do that well.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Kingsman did really well, and it was R-rated. Like, we've had these movies before, and so I don't get why everyone's like, oh, R-rated movies, they're back in the comic book genre. It's like, hold your horses. But, like, it's not a game changer. It's just a movie.
Okay, yeah. So, I agree with a lot of what you said. I think definitely people are overhyping it, which is, like, my main complaint with Mad Max last year. Like, it's still a great movie. I love this movie. I do disagree with you. I think that this movie was refreshing. I don't think it's like maybe like the most refreshing in the world, but I think it was refreshing in that it was just in that on like the small scale that it was set in. But yeah, you're definitely right about the R-rated thing. Like we've had that for years. It's not like super new or anything.
What did you think of the villain?
I thought okay, so. When the villain was doing his like whole torture thing and stuff, that was like pretty like evil. Like I don't like.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I thought that was good for it, but like everything outside of that, like even that was good. It wasn't like great or anything, but like outside of that, he was definitely very forgettable as a villain, which is like it's a thing that most superhero movies struggle with, like making good villains. So this was no exception to that.
But I didn't like how, because this movie's Deadpool and he's so self-aware, that they could say, oh, he's a British villain and he's just a cliche villain, but that makes it okay because it's Deadpool. It's like, no, it doesn't make it okay. Just because you're saying that, hey, isn't this a cliche, that doesn't mean it's not a cliche.
Yeah, all it does is prevent people from like pointing it out after the fact. Like, we pointed it out first. We pointed out our flaw before you did.
Right, but that's
all it does for it.
You could have created a unique villain. Like, I thought Ed Skrein, or whatever his name is, he was fine, I guess. But, like, he didn't bring anything to the table where I was like, that Ed Skrein guy was really good. It was just like, hey, he's fine. And also, this movie has the super cliche that they don't point out, that the arrogant bad guy has to be eating an apple because it makes him look arrogant. Like, it was like in the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek, well, it wasn't the villain, but like to show that a character is arrogant or cocky or whatever, a character eats an apple.
Only
And
assholes eat apples.
it's true.
Keep that in mind, folks.
Never eat apples. Want to
Unless
know
you're an
why?
asshole.
Because you're an asshole if you do.
Yeah.
But also Gina Carano's character, um, look, she was fine in that fight with Colossus, but like I felt like they kind of edited around her because she's not really a good actress.
Yeah.
But she was fine, I guess.
I like her character better than I like the main villain character, but like in terms of performance and everything, she wasn't like anything special or anything like that. Neither of them were.
Right. And then the dude who they kept calling Agent Smith, I thought he was fine. Little over the top with his delivery, but I thought he was fine. But yeah, whatever. I mean, he was fine. So I'm just gonna run through more of my lowlights. I have T.J. Miller as a lowlight because I love T.J. Miller and I love him in this movie, but he wasn't in it enough for me because I thought he was gonna be like his sidekick, basically. Like he's going to be like very close with Deadpool, and he's gonna help him with all these adventures, almost like the Alfred to Deadpool's Batman. But he just kind of was just there in the bar, and then he leaves the bar for one scene, and then he's gone.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you, kind of disagree with you. I thought he was a really cool character, very different as far as the Alfred characters go, like having to be like a young kind of New York hipster guy type, rather than like an old British guy. That was cool. I thought that he was really cool, very funny character, but I like that they used him so sparingly because I feel like characters like that can get annoying when they're overused. So I thought they did that well, personally.
Yeah, I get that, but like I just love T.J. Miller so much, and
Yeah, he was great.
I just really wanted him to be in more things in general.
Yeah.
He
If I
was
was
the
more of a T.J. Miller fan, I'd be the same as you.
yeah, he was the only good part of Big Hero 6. The
Have you
only
seen
good part.
Big Hero 6?
He was the Fred, I think his name was, the rich guy.
Okay.
He was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
only
yeah.
good part of that, and that movie is terrible. No matter
That
what
movie's
people
so bad.
say,
No, that movie's
did
bad.
not deserve to win an Oscar, let alone
Definitely not.
beat the Lego Movie, which wasn't even nominated. But whatever.
No, bad movie. All right, yeah.
And my last two lowlights would be the character Blind Owl. She was fine, but like she was not in it enough to make me care. Like, they kind of rushed through the whole thing. Like, all right, Deadpool met her in the laundry room, and now they're living together, and she knows he's a killer and Deadpool and weird mutant thing. Like, they could have done a little bit more development in that regard into their relationship. They kind of just jumped right into it. And so that was a little light for me. I just thought like, hey, she could have been in it more. And then there was some very, very questionable character actions. Like when Deadpool he survived a thing and he's following Vanessa and he's gonna go say hi, and then he chickens out because everyone's like laughing at him. It's like, no, it doesn't matter, just go talk to her. Just like, God. And then like also when he chickens out about like in the strip house or whatever, he goes up to her and then he goes into the bathroom because he chickens out. It's like, dude, a bad guy is coming to take her, just tell her the truth and get out of there. It's like I feel like it's the same formula of superhero movies. It's like, and here the hero fails where he could have succeeded, and now he has to make up for that mistake by saving the day. And it's in every single superhero movie where they fail and then they succeed. And I felt like because this movie is so tongue-in-cheek and knows what it is, I felt like it could have made a joke of that or just not have done that at all, and it did neither.
Okay, yeah, I kind of get that. I thought Blind Al had like one nice moment where he was on the couch with her head on his shoulder. If we had more of that, like developing their relationship, that would have been really good, like you said. And then, yeah, there were some questionable choices, but that didn't bother me too much just because, like, I don't know how I would be in that situation either, you know? So maybe I'd do the same thing. But, yeah, so I think all in all, I mean, that's all I have for highlights and lowlights, too. But I think all in all, that was definitely a highlight. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice, solid superhero movie.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Really quickly, what were your favorite jokes? Go.
I think the Colossus breaking his arms against that one, and then the baby hand thing, probably. What about you, Colin?
Yeah, I like the scene where he's breaking all his limbs trying to fight Colossus. I like the wherein he says, "Oh, we're gonna go see the professor," and he says Stuart McAvoy. I thought that was really
That's a
great.
good one.
When he goes to the X-Men mansion and he's like, "It's really weird that I only see two of you. It's almost like the studio couldn't afford any more X-Men." Great.
That's a great one, yeah.
What else? There was the banter with Negasonic Teenage Warhead, which I thought was really funny.
Yes, definitely.
The International Women's Day part was actually really, really funny because it was unexpectedly dirty.
And the Lent joke.
The Lent joke was really good too. The Dope Bender stuff was okay. I didn't think he was that great. There's other jokes. Oh, when the bar scene where TJ Miller finds out that he's all scarred up and stuff. While that was in the trailer, like the main jokes, I thought that they added some stuff that was really funny, but I kind of wish they added more because TJ Miller is really good at improv, and he could have improved. He probably did improv way more, and they just didn't put it in. But the part where he's like, "You are going to die alone, if you can die at all," and stuff like that. Like I just love TJ Miller. I find him so funny. He was like, "You should definitely get a mask and wear it all of the time, so like no one can see you. Very thick mask." Just really funny. It's funny because most of the jokes that I really like weren't with Deadpool. Like it was the other characters like talking to Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool wasn't all that great. It's a joke guy.
Yeah. Can you think of any others?
No, those are like the main ones. I also like the one where like they talk about how why would you want to live in a mint that explodes every few years, and then Colossus is like it adds character. I thought that was pretty funny, but didn't get any laughs in my theater.
Yeah, I thought that was actually pretty creative. I liked the joke where Deadpool, when he's punching Colossus and he tries to punch him in the balls, and he goes, "Your poor wife."
Yeah,
I thought that was really, really funny. Or when he's about to punch the villain and he hits Colossus in the balls and he starts feeling round and he's like, "Dad?" I thought that was really funny too. So there is definitely a lot of great humor in it, but like just like so many jokes fall flat. So many. The whole IKEA thing when Al is building that thing, that whole joke fell flat.
that wasn't funny. That's kind of sad. I'm like, oh, she's blind.
Yeah. The joke that TJ Miller makes where he's like, "I would go with you, but I don't wanna." That was pretty good. Yeah, that's really it. Like, there weren't that many other good jokes. The Stan Lee cameo was good.
It was pretty good.
But the Captain Deadpool line, that was okay.
That was a good one. I like that.
But yeah, that's about it. Like, overall, I would say Deadpool is a highlight. I definitely like the movie, but like just seeing other people's reactions makes me not like it for some reason. Just because like I liked it, but like it's like all these people are saying it's like the best movie ever, and I just feel like I have to prove them wrong. But overall, I would give Deadpool a solid 3.5 out of 5 stars. So it is definitely a highlight. What about you?
I love superhero movies, so like I think most likely 3.5, but I'm definitely leaning a little bit towards 4 just because I love superhero movies, and this was definitely that. So yeah, I'd say 3.75.
Ooh, getting fancy with the numbers. I like it. So I think that's it. That is another episode of the Lights Movie Podcast. Oh, wait. We have some Twitter stuff that I want to read really quickly. I'm just gonna go through really quickly a few of them. Just whatever. I'll do 2. Gertie on Twitter says that the Colossus CGI was a no-no. I disagree. I thought he looked really good. What about you?
Yeah, I disagree too. I love Colossus. I thought it looked great. Visually looked fantastic.
And let's see. Whatever. I can't find it anymore on Twitter right now. So hey, that's it. That's another episode of the Lights Movie Podcast. Reach out to us on Twitter and we'll read your highlights and lowlights on the show, stuff like that. Yes, so next week, have no idea what we're going to be talking about, but I'm sure we will find out and tell you on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at DuckIsGod. You can follow Ben at GiantSheeps. Go to notyetRated.net. It's a fantastic website that I happen to run. Follow us on Twitter at NotYetRatedSite. Ben, do you have anything else to add?
Nah, that's about it. So, yeah, we'll see you next week.
All right. Have a good week. Until next time. Bye.
Thank you for listening. Bye.